Hello guys, welcome again to Gym Athletics with Matheng. So today I'm going to be taking you on area and perimeter of circles. Area and perimeter of circles. Good. Now, what's a circle? A circle is a round shape, perfectly round, and has a center. Now the distance from the center to the boundary of that shape, of this shape, is actually the same. So that's what makes a circle. Not just a round shape, we have various types of round shapes, but one of them is called a circle. Now how is a circle different from all the others? So we are going to talk about some parts of this circle. So first, we call this boundary here is called the circumference. It's called the circumference. The circumference is the boundary. It has a center, so there's the boundary. The boundary is called the circumference. Now, from the center to any point on the circumference is called the radius. We call that the radius. That is from the circumference, from the center to the circumference, and it is the same all round. So I could have another one here. This is also regarded as a radius. It's also regarded as a radius. Then we also have another part, that is when two radii join together. We have a radius here. We have another one here together. This is also a radius. So two of these from here to this point, from here to this point. Now a straight line like this gives me what I call a diameter. It gives me a diameter. That is to say, when I have two radii, the plural is radii. When I have two radii, that makes up a radius. That makes up a diameter. So diameter is equal to 2 times r. Diameter is 2 times r. So 2 radii gives a diameter. So we are going to be looking at how to find the perimeter. The perimeter of a circle, remember what we said? The perimeter of a shape is the total distance around the shape. So that makes the circumference to also be called the perimeter of a circle. So circumference of a circle is also called the perimeter. Circumference of a circle is also called the perimeter. It's also called the perimeter. The perimeter of the circle. The perimeter of the circle. So we're going to be looking at some formulas on how to calculate the area as well as the perimeter of the circle. So now to calculate the circumference, which is also called the perimeter of the circle, the circumference is 2 pi r. That means 2 pi r. Don't forget, pi means 22 over 7. Pi is a constant. It means 22 over 7 or 3.142. So the formula for calculating the circumference or the perimeter of a circle is 2 pi r. Now you can as well have or pi d. My d there is 2r. That is 2r. Remember, d stands for the diameter. The diameter, 2r, or 2 times r. So the formula for calculating the circumference of a circle, you can either use 2 pi r. The r is the radius. R stands for the radius, while d stands for the diameter. D stands for the diameter. So if I'm going to calculate the circumference or the perimeter of a circle, all I need is 2 pi r. My r, that's the radius, or I could have pi d, my d, which is the diameter. So some questions will actually give you the diameter and tell you to find the circumference of the circle. Then what about the area? The area. Now don't forget what I said about area. Looking at this shape, this is a circle. Now all the space within this shape is regarded as the area. Look at it. You are given a crayon and you are told to color. you're told to color, you're given a paintbrush and told to color, and now when you color within all the possible space you could color within is regarded as the area of this shape. So looking at this, how can we be able to compute the area of a circle? Now the formula is pi r squared. That is what we need, pi r squared, to calculate all, that is the area of this circle. When I mean, this is the radius. So if we have the radius, we can be able to find the area of this shape. Once we have the radius, which is r, don't forget the radius is the distance, or the length from the center of the circle to the circumference. It's regarded as the radii, or the radius now. Okay, so area is equal to pi r squared. That is what we have. Area is equal to pi r squared. But then, there are some other terms that we need to know about area. Look at it again, about circle now. Whenever I divide a circle into two this way, whenever I divide a circle into two, I divide the area of a circle into two, this is called a semicircle. It's called a semicircle. This one is as well called a semicircle. That's two, semicircle. This is also a semicircle. But then, if I'm going to divide it into four, so let's have a shape here, and I'm dividing it into four equal space. So you can see this is into four. Each of these is called a quadrant. Each of these is called a quadrant. So you can see this is a quadrant. 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 Well, if it's divided into two, this is called a semicircle. This is called a semicircle. So looking at this, we can be told to find the area of the semicircle. Now, if we are going to find the area of the semicircle, it means the entire area divided by 2. That will tell me when I divide, look at this area, finding the area of this circle. And when I divide it into 2, it tells me the area of this semicircle. So I can say area of semicircle is pi r squared divided by 2. Pi r squared divided by 2. How about the area of a quadrant? The area of quadrant, and that will be pi r squared divided by 4. Look at it. I'm dividing it by 4. That gives me the area of a quadrant. Now don't forget, the area of a circle is pi r squared. The area of a semicircle is pi r squared divided by 2. The area of a quadrant is pi r squared divided by 4. Now again, recap on what I said earlier on about perimeter. Remember that the circumference is also called the perimeter of a circle. And to calculate the circumference, you need 2 pi r. That is, when you have the radius, you can be able to find the perimeter of that circle. If you have the diameter, you can as well find the perimeter of the circle. Now, how can we be able to apply that in solving questions like this? So, let me solve 2 questions. So, let's take, for example, we have a shape like this, and then we have this, and then we have this. So, and then we're told to find the area. So here we have 15 centimeter, and the distance here is 7 centimeter. And we're told to find the area of this shaded portion that we have in here. So you're told to find the area of this shaded portion. Now in my previous videos, I talked about the area of a rectangle. Now you can see this, 15 centimeter, and the distance from here to here is 7 centimeters. So usually I'm going to have P, Q, R, and S. So we're told to find the area of the shaded portion. Now take a look at this now. I could complete this to make up a rectangle. So P, Q, R, S. I complete this to make it up a rectangle. Now the parts I don't need are these parts. Here, the semicircle. I don't need this part. So all I'm going to do is to find the area of the rectangle itself, and then I'm going to remove this part out. I'm going to remove it. That's to say I will have to find the area of these semicircles and remove it. Remember, we have two semicircles. We have one here and we have the other. So I'm going to say area of rectangle. Area of rectangle. Remember, it is length times breadth. So the length is 15 centimeter times the breadth, which is 7 centimeter. Now that gives me 105 centimeter square. So that's the entire area of this rectangle. Now, how about finding the area of the semicircle? Now, the area of, so maybe I should call this semicircle A and call this B. So the area of A, semicircle A, semicircle A. Now, what will be the area? Back to what I said earlier on, that the area of a semicircle is pi r squared divided by 2. So I have pi r squared divided by 2. Now, what's my pi? That's 22 over 7 times what's my r? Now, at this point, I will need to calculate my r. You can see from this point to this point is 7 centimeter. Remember that my r is from the center to the circumference. So we can't take this as the whole r. So my r is going to be 7 divided by 2, all squared. Remember, r squared, so I'm dividing it. Then times 1 over 2. So when I compute this, what am I going to have? I have, this is 22, of course, this 22 over 7 times 49 over 4 times 1 over 2. So resolving it this way will be easier for me. So let me create more space to work on that. More space in here. So what do I have? Now I have this. This is 2 here, that's 11, 2 here, that's 2. And I have 7 here, 1, 7 here, 7. So at the end, I'm going to have 77 divided by 4. 77 divided by 4 centimeter square. You can as well resolve this to a decimal if you wish, but I think I'm going to leave it this way for now. Now don't forget that the area of B also, the area of semicircle B is also the same as the area of A. Of course, it's also the same because we have the same radius. We have the same radius, the same diameter, which is 7 centimeter, radius, which is 3.5. So I can say this is 77 divided by 4 centimeter square, as I got earlier on. So adding up these two together and then subtracting it from the whole area. So I'm going to add the two together. That's the same area of semicircles. Semicircles. That is 77 over 4 for that of A plus 77 over 4 for that of B. And that should give me 154 divided by 4. Yes, that's 70, 140, 14. So now, can 4 go in here? Let's find out. This is centimeter square. So at the end, we have this 4 goes into 4 cannot totally divide this without giving us a decimal. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it in fraction and then subtract it from the area of the rectangle. So area of shaded portion. Area of shaded portion will be the whole area of the rectangle, which is this. 105 minus, I'm removing all the semicircles. I'm removing this portion that is not needed. So that's minus 154 divided by 4. So when we go about this, what are we going to have? This is 4, and then this will give us 4 goes into 4 times 105. That gives us 420 minus 154. And then what are we going to have? 420 minus 154. This is 110. And then we have 6 here. is 3, 1, and then we have 6 here, and then 2. So that gives us 266 divided by 4, which 4 goes into 26. That gives me 6 times, remaining 2. 4 goes into 26. That also gives me 6 times, remaining 2. 4 cannot go into that, so I'm going to put a point and add 0 to this, and that gives me 5. So that is 66.5 centimeters squared. So that tells me the area of the shaded portion. We can also look at many other examples like this. I think I'm going to solve another. Let's say we have a rectangle this way, and then we have a circle in there. Now we have a rectangle this way and we have a circle in there. The radius of the circle is 7 centimeter. This is 45 centimeter. And then the breadth is 35 centimeter. 35 centimeter. And we're told to find the area of the shaded portion. The area of the shaded portion. Again, I'm going to find the area of the rectangle. Find the area of the circle. I'm going to remove the area of the circle. Look at it, it's removed. I'm going to remove the area of this circle from the area of the rectangle entirely. So I have area of rectangle. That gives me length times breadth, of course. So that is 45 times 35. And when I multiply that times 35, this is 5, 2. That's 20, 22, that is 15, 5, 1, 3 times 4, 12, 13, so that gives me 5, 7, 5, 1. So that's 1,575 centimeters squared. That is the area of the rectangle. How about the area of the circle? Area of circle becomes as pi r squared. So we've been given the radius, which is 7 centimeters, so that's 22 over 7 times 7 squared, and that is 22 over 7 times 49. 7 here 1, 7 here 7. That gives me 154 centimeters squared. So what's the area of the shaded portion? Area of shaded portion becomes the area of the rectangle entirely, which is 1,575 minus the area of the circle. That's the portion that is not needed, and that is 154. So that will give us 154 when we subtract. This is 1, 2, 4, and 1. So that gives us 1,421 centimeter squared. So you can have various example, but let me take one more example and then I'll be done for that. So let's have another question like this. We're told to, this is a quadrant, and then we've been given circle this way. This is a quadrant, and we'll be given a circle this way. And this is 14 centimeter. 14 centimeter. So we are told to find the area of the shaded portion. The area of the shaded portion. So I'm going to call this, maybe I should call it P, Q, R. Alright, so I'm going to find first the area of the quadrant. So that is area of quadrant. That is pi r squared divided by 4. And of course, my pi, remember the quadrant from this point to this point is the radius. So that is 14 centimeters. So I have 22 over 2 over 7 times 14 squared times 4. That's what I have. That's 22 over 7 times 196 times 4. So looking at this, can 7 be able to go into, sorry, I think this should be 1 over 4. This is 1 over 4 from here, 1 over 4. So that's 1 over 4. So this is 7. Now 7 goes into, yes, 7 can be able to go here. 7 here, 1. So 7 goes here. That is 1. We have, sorry, that's 2. We have 5. That's 56. 7 goes into 56. That gives us 8 times. Which 4 goes here, 4 here, and that's 7 again. So at the end of the day, we have 22 times 7, that's 154 centimeter square. Now that's the area of the quadrant. The area of the quadrant is 154 centimeter square. But then we want to find the area of this semicircle. But I would like you to know that this semicircle has a center, maybe I should call that T. Now, if from here to this point is 14, it also means from P to R is also 14, which makes P to T the area of this semicircle. And so if the whole of this is 14, then this will be 7 centimeter, 7 centimeters. So that's what we are going to be using to find the area of that semicircle. So we have area of semicircle becomes pi r squared divided by 2. So, but this time around, my r is 7 centimeter. My r is 7 centimeters. So I have 22 over 7 times 7 squared times 1 over 2. So, of course, that gives 2 here 1, 2 here 11. That will give 11 times 7 because 7 here 1. 7 goes into one of these and I'm left with 7 here, and that gives me 77 centimeter square. So the area of the semicircle is 77 centimeter square, which makes the area of shaded portion, to be the area of the quadrant, which is 154 centimeters square, minus the area of the semicircle. So I'm removing this part, and that's minus 77 centimeter square. So at the point now, I'm going to have 23 plus 54, that gives 77 centimeter square. So that is the area of the shaded portion. Now I want to believe that you understand what I've done so far. Don't forget to like my YouTube channel. You can click on the subscription. On the subscription, you can subscribe to it so that anytime I post a video, you are going to get it directly. Thank you very much. Mathematics is easy.